What's good, everyone? CJ here. We're back at it again today. In today's video, we're going to take a look at LANDR's FX Suite. This FX Suite consists of a bundle of 5 plugins that you could use in your mixes to make them really shine. These plugins will also give you access to true and try techniques, versatile presets for any style or genre of music, as well as powerful audio processing to ensure that your quality standard is met. In this video, I'm going to show you how I used all 5 of these plugins in a project of mine, and maybe that'll give you some ideas and inspiration on how you can use these plugins in your mixes. Okay, let's jump right into it. I'm going to open up Logic and we'll get started. Okay, so I opened up a project where I'm using all 5 of these plugins. So before I get started into how to use them, I wanted to quickly go over all of the various plugins that come with this FX Suite bundle. In the top left, we have LanderFX Bass. The name says it all. It's all about perfecting your low end. They have some awesome presets you should try out. And one factor that I really like about all 5 of these plugins, they're simple to understand and easy to use. You have one main blend knob in the middle, and then a simple input and output to determine the amount of gain coming into the plugin and leaving the plugin. To the right of that, you have LanderFX Voice. This plugin is absolutely amazing on vocals. So if you have a certain type of mix in mind, you could use one of the presets and then start blending from there. I built a custom vocal chain using only the LanderFX Voice plugin, and I'm going to show you how I did that in a minute. To the right of that, you have LanderFX Beats, which is an awesome effects plugin to use for all of your drum tracking. On the bottom left, you have LanderFX Electric. This plugin definitely allows you to add richness and gloss to either your guitar or your synth tracks. To the right of that, you have the LanderFX Acoustic plugin. This plugin definitely will help you bring out the vibrance and richness. Whatever you slap this plugin on, it'll definitely make it sound way better. Now let's take some time to actually go over these plugins individually and see what they can do. First up is LanderFX Acoustic, and I give you a brief description of this one. So I'm running a couple of synths through a auxiliary channel, and this is the auxiliary channel right here. I'll let you hear what it sounds like without the plugin on. So I'll let you hear what it sounds like with this preset on. And notice that the blend is at around 73%. That's where it was. 274. So you can tell like it sounds a little bit smoother and much wider now with that big space. Let's browse some of these other presets for the reverb and see if we like one better than another. This is a bright hall. Definitely adds some top sheen, if you know what I mean. So each of these plugins have different sections of presets that you could try out. So the acoustic one has a creative, reverb, delay, effects, and EQ section, and this goes actually for all 5 of these plugins. So there's actually multiple parameters that you could automate in this plugin. This goes for any plugin really, but what's nice is I could switch between presets as the beat progresses and also, you know, automate the blend knob to find that balance that I want. So I'm going to go into internal presets like so, and you can see here in the automation track that I went from big space to smash to plate to basic chorus to big space again, so on and so forth. So we're actually jumping in between various presets as this beat progresses, right? You can really start creating some vibes, you know, switching up the presets with the automation and also using the blend knob in the automation process. So let's come over to a section with the drums here. So right now we're on Smash under Effects. Let's go back to Creative here because I just want to browse through some of these. Let's bring the blend knob up to, let's say, 75%. I could definitely recommend using the input and output knobs to, you know, lessen the input gain or lessen the output so you can really gain stage the effect and make sure that it sits nice in the mix. Let's take a look at the next plugin that I have in this specific auxiliary channel, and that is the LanderFX Electric. So right here I'm using the big phaser. So, you know, as you can see, you have to sometimes think outside of the box. I said, why don't I just start layering, you know, some of these plugins on top of each other to get the vibe that I want. So in the chain, I have the, next up, I had the LanderFX Electric. I'm using the big phaser. Let's go through some of the presets here and see what they sound like. Lush chorus, scream, heavy compression. Here's another glue. Definitely like the funky flange though, that's nice. So next up, we have LanderFX Voice. As I mentioned in the beginning of this video, this plugin is awesome to use on vocals. You're an up-and-coming artist, you know, you've invested in a microphone and now you're starting to record yourself, but you want to expand your plugin arsenal and you want to, you know, just start experiencing and experimenting. LanderFX Voice, or just in general, I feel like this plugin suite is an awesome way to train your ears. Take a look at the names of these presets. For example, Cleaned Up. This preset's probably going to reduce muddiness in my vocal and add clarity, right? That's what I think of when I look at the preset name Cleaned Up. For reference purposes, I recorded a small hook to this beat, and I'm going to show you the vocal chain that I created using only LanderFX Voice, okay? So we're gonna go from an EQ section to a compression section, and then adding creative presets like delays and reverbs. So here's the hook dry. When I say dry, it means no effect plugin except for an EQ that's rolling off the low end anywhere from around 120 down to 20 hertz. I've already lined up the voice plugins and I'm going to turn them on one by one so you can hear the difference as I'm turning on these plugins.
It's been too long, really gotta live this dream. Have my mind locked up, I wanna live free.
All right, let's go ahead and turn on the first LanderFX Voice plugin in that vocal chain, and I'm utilizing the preset Cleaned Up.
It's been too long, really.
I'm gonna do an A and B test real quick so you can hear it without.
If you don't agree, just take a fucking seat. Had to put in sweat and tears for this, I had to bleed.
It still sounds a bit too far in the background, like it's not really blending well with the beat. So I went ahead and added another LanderFX Voice plugin underneath that in the vocal chain, went to the compression section and used smooth compression. So here it is without the compression.
It's been too long, really gotta live this dream.
And now with.
It's been too long, really gotta live this dream. Have my mind locked up.
So you could tell like the vocal has more presence now. So the smooth compression definitely adds, you know, a bit more character and more body.
It's been too long, really gotta live this dream. Have my mind locked up, I wanna live free. If you don't.
To continue in the vocal chain, the next plugin up, again, is the LanderFX Voice. Now I'm in the delay bank, and I added something called Dirty Echoes.
It's been too long, really gotta live this dream.
So as you can see, you could build your vocal chain with 4, maybe even 5 of these LanderFX Voice plugins stacked on top of each other. One super important thing to keep in mind when building a vocal chain, you know, with these plugins or any plugins really, is the order of the plugins. So the first plugin in the vocal chain is an EQ, simply rolling off anything from 20 hertz to around 120 hertz. Then it goes into another EQ, which added a little bit of clarity and removed more mud from our mix of that vocal. Then I went into compression. Okay, so again, EQ, then compression. So after I EQ'd and compressed my vocal, I then went into adding some creative factors like delays and reverbs. Okay, next up we have LanderFX Beats. This is definitely one of my favorites out of the 5 because it allows you to mix your drums with ease. So the first sound that I'm using a LanderFX Beats on was my kick drum. If you check out the preset categories, I'm under kick, and I've chosen the deep kick. I'll let you hear the kick without the preset on, and then I'll turn it back on. And here it is with the deep kick preset on. Let's try some of these other ones here. Dark saturated kick. It's amazing how, you know, it changes the transient of that kick and makes that one kick sound completely different with every preset that I select. Next up, I also mixed the snare using LanderFX Beats. Let's have a listen to it without the preset on first. Now let me play it with the preset on. Okay, next up for the hi-hat, I used LanderFX Beats as well, and then I went into the cymbals section right there and chose smooth cymbals. So let's have a listen to the hi-hat without the effect on. Now let's turn on the effect on the hi-hats. Definitely adds a lot of presence to that hi-hat so we can blend it nicely. Now let's come to the last plugin in this bundle called LanderFX Bass. So the name says it all. LanderFX Bass is there to assist you in mixing your bass sounds. So the preset that I chose for my 808 is called Bright and Wide under Mix Tools, and I have the blended around 50%. Let's have a listen to the 808 without the preset on. So that's a nice boomy 808. Let's go ahead and turn on the preset bass. Let's hear the drums in conjunction with the instruments. Just trying different presets on the bass. More sub definitely gives that 808 a lot more body. Maybe I'll turn the input down a bit. So using this LANDR FX Suite, I was able to mix an entire beat. I was able to create an entire vocal chain using the LANDR FX voice plugin. If there was one main factor about me deciding whether or not I want to buy this plugin suite, it would definitely be ease of use. As a professional, workflow for me is everything. I want to make sure that, my clients are satisfied with my sound, but at the same time, I want to deliver my product quickly. After reviewing the LANDR FX Suite, I can say with confidence that I'm going to be using these plugins in my mixes and my production. Hey, I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video today. Most importantly, I hope you learned something new. If you did, make sure to use the comment section. Let me know what other content you'd like to see next. Don't forget to hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the bell to be notified anytime I drop some new content. If you want to try LanderFX for free, hit the link in the description and download your copy now. You could also get LanderFX as part of the All Access Pass, which gives you access to everything that Lander has to offer. And be sure to use this coupon code right here to get 30% off now. My name is CJ. I'm out for now. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.